Oh my God. Andrew, live and on camera briefly.
As he is wont to do.
I thought that was only allowed during poker
on
night.
camera.
He is on camera on poker night, and then we get to watch, Red Dead
Redemption
in the background while we play poker.
Yeah.
Which is a blast. What a great video game.
It's pretty good.
Wait, so does Jade save on your... Or does Jade play on your save, or do you have separate saves?
No, we have one save
Ooh.
that we play together.
Got it.
We usually switch off, or one person will play for a while and the other person will just watch. So
A couple's account, if you will. I am recording.
I will.
I am recording. Are you guys recording?
yeah,
I've already been recording.
Oh,
of course.
you talking to the cops, mate?
You're talking to the cops,
man?
man.
I thought I said something about not eating all the cheese, but maybe I'm the one going crazy.
Is that Gouda enough for you? What's that
Go
movie?
ahead.
Captain Marvel. Who plays Captain Marvel? Lawson, something Lawson. Brie.
Brie
Oh
Larson.
yeah, that's it. Brie Larson.
Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Who's it? What? Go ahead, mate. Just fess up. You'll feel fatter.
Oh well, if you're still hungry, why don't you have some cheese, mate?
I'll have a little space for me. Oh yeah, you're hungry, Mark. You're hungry. I ate the cheese. Oh God.
I showed that video, or I sent that video to my sister, and the only response I got at first was just, "Wow."
Andrew, you can't send that shit to normies.
She did think it was funny, but I don't think she got it.
Andrew.
A rookie mistake.
Come to terms with what we are.
Don't get.
I'm
us twisted.
sunburnt.
Wait, what?
Yeah, man. It's sunny out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was outside and sitting in one spot for 4.5 straight hours yesterday.
That would make you sunburn.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of sunscreen.
Ryan, I also did watch the Would the Real Mitt Romney Please Stand Up video.
I was about to ask that.
That is pretty peak 2012 YouTube right there, man. Thank you.
It's so impressive though,
Yeah.
too. He makes there's a flow. A legitimate. It is very tough to do hip hop and rap when you're actually rapping.
Mm-hmm.
Mitt Romney was not rapping. He was just saying words mostly at stump speeches. But he was able to make that shit flow. That was really impressive.
Someone definitely sifted through just hours of Mitt Romney footage to put that together.
Ungodly amounts. And he didn't write it. Some of it was, he lifted entire lines.
Yep.
So he was just I like this line. Every Mormon, raise your underwear. Sing the chorus, Papa Bear. What? How the fuck do you... How? Ridiculous, man. So, big fan.
And we're going to get pretty ridiculous on episode 93 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, recorded on April 19th, 2020. Today on the podcast, we have the man who single-handedly defeated the way of the Dodo Dojo and earned the title Extinction Entity in the process, Ryan Holtz.
Good God, I don't know what this is a reference to.
Well, I was going to say in a couple of months, but it'll probably be longer than that now. But when a certain game comes to PC, you'll understand that reference.
Jesus Christ.
Also on the podcast, we have someone formerly known as the Karate Kid, but is now known as the Martial Arts Man, Andrew Clark.
I am a fu fighting adult.
You gotta fight that foo?
Kung fu fighting adult.
Yeah, fight that foo, man.
I love it was a meme for like maybe a couple of hours. But the whole like Foo Fighters every time they see a fucking foo and like memes of people fighting.
Pretty solid.
I enjoy
There's been a lot of like weird pun memes lately. Like it's a video or one was like I saw a picture and it was of Squidward and SpongeBob when SpongeBob was trolling Squidward or the other way around. And they put Con on the person who was trolling's head and then on the person who was getting trolled's head. So it was like Con trolls her or control like it was fucking weird, man. I don't know. Memes are getting real abstract and punny nowadays.
People are just losing their minds and putting things together that don't have any like logical connection.
Yeah.
But
you know,
in their depraved mimes, there's a connection that they made without it making any sense.
Exactly. Someone was literally like playing with the controller and they were like, the word troll is in this. All right, that's a meme. And then just pictures of trolling and then fucking went for it. And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening?
I don't know if that kind of wordplay is necessarily conducive to the medium of memes, but all right, props to them for trying to start a thing.
Yeah, they went for it.
And then rounding out the cast is me, Lucas the Writer, master of the Drunken Fist, which of course is my excuse, but I'm not ready to confront that yet.
Sure.
I'm not an alcoholic. I'm just master of the Drunken Fist.
Yes.
It's called a wine tasting. It's classy.
Did they really spit out the wine at a wine tasting?
Yeah.
It just seems wasteful.
I mean, is it?
Feels like it.
Wine isn't exactly like a necessity. Can you waste things that are like wasteful in the first place?
Well, how much energy goes into producing a bottle of wine?
I mean, they make them in giant batches. Like,
Fair.
Probably not that much for each individual bottle. I mean, if it was food and they just like tasted the food and spat it out, yeah, that seems wasteful. But like wine is not. It's not like things that people need. Like they're like, oh man, if I don't get wine soon, I might die. Yeah. If I don't drain my cock.
My cock right now, I might die.
Oh, funhouse references.
There's an episode of Tick Toc where there is a wine famine, and I enjoy it quite a bit.
So wine is an essential good.
Yes.
Checkmate, atheists.
At the very least in the Middle Ages, or like pseudo-fantasy Middle Ages, where everybody's an alcoholic, but that's just normal.
Yeah, but like wine would only be for the rich, the nobles, right?
I don't think that's always the case.
Yeah. I would think it is.
Yeah, I would think it would be. I think mead is the drink of the common folk.
I like mead.
If someone just like drank mead and spat it out, I'd be a little more like, what the fuck?
Why? Yeah.
I'd be a little more like, or beer. Like it's like, okay, that's kind of like a good now. you're no like, okay, so yeah, if someone was like, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, and I test out crashing cars, and they like crashed a Lamborghini, it would be like, all right, fuck you, dude. If someone like crashed a 2003 Toyota Civic, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, that's a car. Someone could use that shit. Like, I don't know. That's
Whereas one is specifically meant for the rich to do whatever they want with.
Yeah.
And the other one is just for, utility.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like if I don't give a fuck what they're wasting their money on. But when it comes down to like goods that could be distributed amongst people and used, it's like, all right, fuck off.
We've reached the point of late stage capitalism where rich people doing dumb shit is the best way to redistribute wealth.
Yeah. There was a really great, not to bring up iDubbbz again, but man, coming up a lot recently. He did a content cop on these like tech YouTubers that purposely destroy tech, like to get views. Like they're like, "Ha, what happens when you drop a phone off a roof?" And it's like it breaks. Cool, dude. And he was like making fun of how shitty they are at coming up with like cool ideas to see tech destroyed.
Yeah.
Like one of them was like, "Oh, we're gonna fly this drone into a swimming pool." And they just like flew the drone into a swimming pool, and it stopped working. And they were like, "Whoa!" And it was just like, these guys like, fucking suck, dude. They have no creativity at all. And then I think he did one himself that was like way more creative and fun to watch.
We are post 1,000-degree knife destroying shit YouTube. You gotta step it up.
God. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
That was such a weird time.
That was like number one on trending.
Everything. And it was that same thumbnail with the glowing red hot knife.
Yeah. Yep, it's just every single I really want to imagine that it was one guy got all of those videos out of the way in the course of like a day.
Yeah.
Where he had like 400 items and then just one knife and a fire constantly raging. He's like, "All right, we're going to film like 13 hours of footage."
Just made millions of dollars in one day. Dude, he killed. The creator of that phenomenon just made out like a bandit.
I'm sure.
Like at its peak, he was getting 50 million views a video, and they were all monetizable because there was no
and they're
graphic
so
stuff.
Fucking easy.
Yeah, no,
it's just like
it was so low cost. I promise you, he walked away with like $5 to $10 million after it was all said and done. It's crazy.
So we as the Voluntary Viewing have to find the next 1,000-degree knife video series where we put zero effort into it. It's very simple and it just gets millions and millions of views. Simple enough, right? So what do we do, guys?
Put our heads together.
That was the sound of me putting my head together. It's gonna come up on the waveform as a very long clap sync looking waveform like this, so watch out for that.
Okay. Ignore the clap sync at the 12-minute mark. Got it. Okay, people like stuff being opened, built, or destroyed. Building stuff is time we can invest and still make out maximally. Also, opening stuff would cost money, so I think it has to be we're destroying shit by dipping it in acid?
No, because that's not aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to have an aesthetic. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
We'll think. We'll give it a think.
I got an idea. We destroy 1,000-degree knife.
With an 1,000-degree knife?
With a 2,000-degree knife.
I did see someone do that. Someone did cut a knife with another knife.
No!
They were like, 1,000-degree knife versus knife. And then they just started cutting a knife. And it was like, okay. I feel like this snake is starting to eat its own tail right about now.
This is becoming Ouroboros, yes. And
that
thing. I got that, Lucas. I understood that one.
Hey, mythology.
Ouroboros.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
I don't even know how to spell that shit. Do you?
I think it's Ouroboros.
I'm pretty sure it's spelled with an O.
Oh!
Yeah, but it's pronounced like you.
Yeah, I think it's Ouroboros. A circular depicting a snake, more or less common to dragons, following its tail. They spell it two different ways.
Get your shit together, Old English.
The more you know. Da-da-da.
And you're about to know even more as we go into News of the Week.
Ouroboros.
Oh, that might be it.
But then this one says Ouroboros. That's two completely different pronunciations. Although one of them is that Google thing that they're doing nowadays, where if you type pronounce after any English word, they'll have like a robot pronounce it, and I'm like, I don't know if this is right,
Yeah, text-to-speech programs are notoriously bad at syntax.
It's really creepy too, because they put like a mouth next to it, and it pronounces it with. Oh, it's weird. I don't know. Look up Ouroboros pronounce if you want to be weirded out. Or any word pronounce.
No, I won't.
Okay, Digital Mouth is now at the top of this title list for this episode.
Digital mouth.
Yo, what that digital mouth do?
They got Rendezvous right.
Hmm?
I feel like that'd be a tough one for a normal AI to understand.
That might be searched enough, though, that it kind of corrects.
It self-corrects it.
Mm.
Yeah, there is a feedback section where you can say it was wrong or something. Interesting. What a fun Google project. Oh, damn. I was hoping that we would have some Stadia news and we could
No,
quickly...
unfortunately, no.
No, Stadia.
Nothing Google specific, but in something that generally affects video games. The ESRB ratings will now list if a game has purchasable items or loot boxes, so we'll probably start seeing more games add loot boxes through DLC or updates.
Yeah, just launch with no loot boxes, and then the 1.0.1 patch adds loot boxes.
Yeah, the same day release date patch.
Oh, I gotta fix some performance bugs. Also, now you have to pay an extra $10.
Like what famously happened with the previous Call of Duty game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, forgot about that.
Warzone has
launched
clouded your
like
judgment.
A regular game, and yeah. I mean, that absolutely has loot boxes.
Oh God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And white phosphorus.
Ooh.
And didn't the campaign for this one like reference U.S. war crimes but claim they were done by Russia? I seem to recall that happening.
Oh, that's a fun controversy.
There was a weird thing where they like briefly mentioned like the Valley of Death
Or the Highway of Death.
or the Highway of Death, yeah, and said like, man, can you believe the Russians did all this shit? But like the actual incident was perpetrated by Americans.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare narrative director defends controversial Highway of Death mission. The developer is standing their ground. Highway of Death, real life highway in Iraq, 2-day-long Gulf War era attack. Blah 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 blah. Mission fictional country of Urzikstan bears a resemblance to a real life attack by the U.S. Only in Modern Warfare, we're told it was Russian forces who bombed people trying to escape. In real life, Russia had absolutely nothing to do with this historical event. So it seems like they were trying to like, not parody, but have a parallel more than a direct.
It was a reference instead of a rewriting, I guess.
Yeah.
But then you give it a different name, right?
Probably be a good move to give it a different name. I'm not going to deny that. Is it an actual? Did they name it that?
I believe
Is that the name of the mission, Highway of Death? Because then, yeah.
I don't think it's the name of the mission. I think they do call it that though in like a cutscene or something.
Yeah.
Fun.
Anyway, ESRB as bad as it ever has been.
ESRB.
In an update to a previous story, it turns out that the Cooking Mama Cookstar game, which launched and then was quickly removed from the Nintendo eShop last week, likely wasn't mining cryptocurrency. However, the game was apparently never supposed to launch and has created a legal battle between the publisher and the IP holder.
What a fucking crazy game to be the one that's like kicking off all this crazy controversy and drama.
Yep.
Like
Cooking Mama
Cookstar.
It had one apparently good game on the Nintendo DS in 2007, has coasted on that ever since, and now... Fuck. Yeah.
The upcoming PS4 version is also not part of the agreement. What if the publisher did have a crypto mining thing, though? I don't know. Crazy.
That'd be pretty funny. I mean, Is it extremely unethical and like bad? Absolutely. but it's pretty fucking funny. Can you imagine if it turned out that Animal Crossing was actually being used by, I don't know, like the CIA to decrypt codes or some shit? Like, that'd be really fucking funny.
Funny.
They're like, yeah, we're using part of your processing power to I don't know, crack these Russian and Chinese cybersecurity measures. That's fucking
yeah,
funny.
that sounds funny. That doesn't sound absolutely terrifying.
Well, no, of course it's terrifying, but the fact that it's mixed in with this random weird Nintendo shit, that is funny.
Yeah.
Like if we found out that Call of Duty Warzone was doing that, that would be awful. But if it turned out that I don't know, Pokemon Sword and Shield were doing it, then that'd be funny.
Okay. Interesting. We have a comedy expert. Andrew, dissect the frog a little more. What makes it funny?
Yeah, just going very, very cut and dry. Okay, this thing, that would not be funny.
Is it?
But this thing, that is funny.
Is it because it's, generally fantastical children's property being tied to, if not dreary, at least kind of concerning real world issues? Is that where the humor is coming from?
Of course, it's two things that don't belong together.
Lucas,
That's funny.
it upsets expectations.
They lead you in one way just to go a completely different direction.
What a clever witticism.
Yes, shallow and pedantic.
Shallow and pedantic.
Following the controversy over its crunch culture in the lead up to the release of Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar has implemented some company policies meant to alleviate these issues that have been generally well received by staff so far.
Yeah, I wonder if we're the reason that GTA 6 is going to be just a really long, dragged out development is to avoid crunch. They're not going to set a date until there's a few months left in development, and it's been under development for years and years and years, so that there's less crunch possibly.
Maybe?
I will not give Bethesda the benefit of the doubt in this kind of situation, but I do remember when Fallout 4 got announced was it 3 or 4 months before it was released?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that was maybe we're not going to crunch anyone, we're just going to see what happens, and then when it's almost done, tell everyone about it?
It's possible.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, we haven't talked about it at all, but Fallout 76 got a new massive update.
Yeah.
Yeah, add in
a game.
Yeah.
Now
it's real now.
They made it a video game finally.
I mean, it's my understanding that it's now become another mediocre MMO, but it's not a flaming pile of dog shit
but
like
at least
it was.
It's functional.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never going to be good, probably.
Well,
but at least it's not the worst game of the year.
They might be trying to go for the No Man's Sky route, which was a steaming pile of dog shit, and then they made it playable, and now people kind of enjoy it. They say there's a lot of stuff in it and things to do, and you can play full multiplayer, which was promised on release but wasn't delivered for 4 years. So who knows, man? Maybe they really hit it hard and feel really bad about how shitty of a game they made and put out.
I mean, my mind goes more towards maybe sunk cost fallacy. But yeah, if it's a better product now, good for people who enjoy it.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Online Part 2.
Right.
You don't create a Part 2, you just keep on adding paid DLC.
Jason Schreier is leaving Kotaku to pursue writing and reporting at another outlet, largely because of the site becoming mismanaged following the Gizmodo Media Suite's acquisition last year. This also means that the Kotaku Split Screen podcast will end in its current form, and I think we should shoot our shot and try to take that over.
Oh, okay. So that we can also work for a mismanaged organization that is pushing out all of its talent.
But also have clout, Andrew.
We can be what Inside Gaming became when Inside Gaming disbanded from Machinima.
I also love that, like, yeah, we could do that podcast because I noticed that most of the articles that we talk about are written by this dude.
Yeah.
It's either this dude or Lucas.
These are all four of the articles you have on here from Kotaku.
I mean, you know what? Yeah, I'm showing my bias here, but if you guys wanted to add stuff from your entertainment outlets of choice, I would welcome it.
No, I don't care. I'm just saying, yeah, we could do the podcast. I know who this dude is exclusively from talking about the articles that he's written.
I mean, my entertainment outlet of choice is IGN, which
Boo.
I know is a flaming pile of dog shit.
All right.
I mean, cooking, like, if we want to go back into Cooking Mama, Lucas and I were joking around earlier this week because he sent me an article that was like, disgruntled IGN employee has outbursts, leaves 16 staff members amazing and 4 perfect.
From the satirical publication, The Hard Drive. It's like The Onion, but for
Right.
nerd shit. Yeah.
And just like, he couldn't like basically talk about how like they can't stop saying nice things about the things they're reviewing because they just never give anything a bad review. And like 2 hours later, they released the review for Cookie Mama Cookstar and they gave it a 3 out of 10.
Hey.
Which was the first like sub 5 review I've ever seen.
Nice.
But it was apparently so bad the IP holder wouldn't let them publish it, but they did it anyway. What would it have taken for IGN to give that game a 2 is what I'm curious about, but whatever. I'm being a pedantic asshole. Yeah.
True.
Are you being a shallow asshole or just pedantic?
No, Andrew, I'm being a deep asshole.
Hey.
Should deep asshole be the title? No, that wouldn't be great for SEO.
I don't think SEO would pick that
Yeah.
one up. Deep asshole. Voluntary viewing.
Sponsored by
Voluntary
Enemas.
viewing. Oh.
Sponsored by the Quarantine Cast.
Full circle.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ouroboros.
I don't know. I
Just make that the title.
Ouroboros. I'm putting it on the list. Yeah, I don't have a ton to add to this news story other than this has been happening for a while. I expected this talent to leave Kotaku, which belongs to the same group of websites as Deadspin. I expected
I thought Deadspin was dead. I thought it was like officially gone.
they brought on new writers, and it's not anywhere near as good as it once was. And Deadspin is a zombie right now, but I don't know. It's just a bummer to see a website I enjoy lose a lot of the talent that really made me visit it every day since 2014. So
The way of the world.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last up for video games, from Bloomberg, Sony reportedly plans to only manufacture around 5 to 6 million PlayStation 5s for its launch and the following business quarter. This article argues that the supply decrease is in anticipation of the PlayStation 5's $500 to $550 price point, discouraging people from picking it up, thereby decreasing demand. And, of course, my immediate reaction to that information is that I thought people expected this to cost between $500 and $550, right?
Well, insiders who really care and are going to buy it anyway.
Okay.
I think a lot of people who would have just been like, "Oh, new PlayStation, I'll check that out."
Yeah. Parents.
I mean, like a lot of people don't follow video game stuff like we do.
Yeah, parents whose kids write PS5 on the wish list, and they're like, "Oh, that'll be like $300," and then they're like, "Oh, fuck,
You're getting a Nintendo Switch."
yeah, you'll get another Switch."
I'm gonna get you a Switch Lite.
Oh,
But I already have a Switch. I don't need a Switch Lite.
I don't want a Switch Lite.
Can you just give me like $200 that I can put towards the PS5?
Yeah.
No, you are getting your second Nintendo Switch.
It's the equivalent of my parents and grandparents sometimes buying me video games of like outdated Maddens. Like,
Oh, no.
I would have like Madden 08 and they would buy me like Madden 05. And, like, they're like, it was on sale at a garage sale. And I'm like, I literally can't play this.
Yeah.
There's no reason to. Oh, man.
Thank you
I
for
think-
the gesture.
Yeah.
I can't remember if this was a dream or if this actually happened, but I think a relative may have given me a video game like for like an Xbox, like an Xbox 360, and I didn't have an Xbox. I just kind of like pretended that it was the same.
Yeah. No, I was always very, very gracious, and I don't think I ever let
Yes.
it on. And also, like, they'd never spend a lot of money on those types of games. I think they were always like, I found a bargain, and it's like, yeah, well, kind of can't really play it. So, oh well.
Stopping by GameStop on the way home.
I'm gonna get 50 cents for this.
Hell yeah.
Not even. They wouldn't have taken it, I'm sure. It just sat sometimes in the plastic wrap for my entire childhood.
Oh.
Aw.
Oh. Fucking. What's the name of the prospector from Toy Story 2?
Oh, something Pete. Prospector Pete? Was it just that?
Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete. There
Stinky
you go.
Pete. You're just stinky peeing those games, yeah.
What the fuck was that reference? That was so roundabout. But it got there, but the roundabout nature.
He was
made
all
it
pissed
weird.
off because he had to be kept in his box, and then kids couldn't play with him, and that was his whole motivation as a villain.
Yeah, but it was a collector's item. These video games were not collector's items. They were not in demand at all whatsoever.
Fair.
But I guess you never know. Maybe someday.
Anything happening in television, film, or other?
Television, film, or other. I don't think so.
Right?
IGN gave the latest episode of Westworld a perfect 10 out of 10,
What?
What?
which I think was part of the IGN just kind of says positive things about everything conversation.
What arbitrary rating out of 10 would you give it, Andrew?
I thought it was a really good episode. I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10.
What about an 8.75? Or is that pushing it?
An 8.69.
Yeah. Gotta earn those even quarters. Alright then, we are going into the meme corner.
The memes.
A lot of memes.
Hell yeah. This first one, gonna be super quick about it because, like, none of us are invested in it whatsoever. But the Animal Crossing turnip stock market has been just a bizarre thing to be adjacent to, but not at all involved in.
Yeah, it is really weird.
Wait,
People
like,
talk
what
about
do
it
you
a
mean?
lot.
So,
Is there like an actual like turnip stock market that you can
Kinda, yeah.
yes.
involve yourself with in the game?
So in Animal Crossing, you can, I don't know if you like grow them or if you can like purchase them from one character and then sell them to another, but there are turnips with fluctuating prices, and then you're trying to take the gamble of picking them up really low and then selling them really high. Except you can visit other people's islands in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and they'll have different turnip prices, and you can try to turn a profit there. But then now the social expectation is that if you visit somebody else's island to sell your turnips, you need to bring like an offering to the person who opened up their island for you and give them like something in exchange for you selling your turnips.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it is very weird.
It's a whole thing. What's going on with Trump and Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, you see this morning?
Yeah, well, I saw it yesterday. I saw
I thought it
something.
was this morning. Maybe it was yesterday. My fault.
Well, no, it may have continued since I saw it last.
Not really. So basically, the lowdown is some news site posted a video of Jair Alexander, the Packers cornerback, who was a college teammate of Lamar Jackson's. They both went to Louisville, reacting to Lamar Jackson being drafted because he was picked 10 picks after Jair Alexander. So while Jair was being interviewed live, they announced Lamar Jackson, Baltimore Ravens or whatever, and he was like, "Whoa, Lamar!" He was reacting really genuinely, and it was a really cool moment.
They were at college together, and he's like, "Yeah, it's my dog."
Exactly. And I think Lamar Jackson
cool.
was worried about his draft position, even though he was a Heisman and all that stuff. People were kind of undervaluing him. So the fact that he went to the first round meant he made a lot of extra money. So yeah, it was a genuinely cool moment. And then what Jair said, "Hey Lamar, I told you they made the right choice or something," and then Lamar responded "Hell yeah, brother," and all that cool stuff. And then Trump responded to Lamar Jackson out of nowhere and was just
for no fucking reason.
Yeah, they made the right choice there. And everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And then Lamar said "Trust Trump," he basically
well, because his whole basically his catchphrase is big trust.
Big trust, yeah, or big trust, yeah. Which is basically I agree. So but I think people started to take it as I trust you, Donald Trump, and it was
yeah.
So then they started thinking he's a Trump supporter. So and Trump supporters not very literate in that area. Let's just say. So they all took it as Lamar Jackson is now a hardcore Trump supporter.
Oh, God.
And the actual people who understand it were just because people on both sides were definitely getting angry. Don't get me wrong. Democrats were no longer a fan, and then Republicans were come to our side. This is so great. And then there was all these people in the middle that
we
actually
got a black
understood.
guy now.
Yeah, all these people in the middle that actually understood what he was saying, and when they were just no, he was literally just saying you're right. They made the right choice. That was all he was saying, and commenting on the fact that it's fucking weird that the United States president just replied to his tweet just saying some random bullshit. So
yeah, it was just I was so confused because it was just basically two guys having a moment on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then the president just jumped in and was like, "Good job."
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, it was very strange. And then there was all these photoshops which were pretty fucking golden of Trump just I don't want to say black, but
oh god,
he'd have a fade and an earring, and it was pretty fucking crazy.
Have you ever seen those? It's not really a meme, but it's just whenever there's a conservative thread going on, someone just says everyone in this thread, and it's a picture of 10 different Twitter profiles.
Yep.
Yeah, all the sunglasses and the hats on and stuff,
or shaved heads.
And and then just one of them is Lamar Jackson. People started doing that now.
Yeah, I did see that. And then let's see what else happened. Robbie Anderson responded with what was it? It was Free Yak, I think. Yeah, Free Yak, which is a reference to Kodak Black and how he wants Donald Trump basically to pardon Kodak Black. And so then I think Lamar favorited that, and then people were like, "Oh, Lamar's got the plug. If he gets Kodak Black freed based on this one random tweet, I swear to God." And then it was me if Trump pardons Kodak Black, and it was Kanye with a Trump 2020 or MAGA hat and all that stuff. It was a weird interaction. Let's just say, Black Twitter intersected with Donald Trump's Twitter for a good hour, and oh boy, that chemical reaction did not mix well.
Pretty volatile.
But it was fascinating to watch.
Right.
That's for sure.
And then the only other meme I have to bring is that I put Ohio coronavirus protesters.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But really it's from everywhere and just people clowning on these idiots.
Yeah, have fun with that. Have fun clowning on them while it slowly overtakes everything.
Right?
It's going to be great, guys. Millions of people are going to die.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again just for the people in the back. We're fucked.
If it could just stay within this group of individuals. maybe it wouldn't be horrific, but no, it's going to spread to everyone. And
Well, they're the ones that aren't going to be taking it seriously, so they're going to be the ones interacting with people in their everyday lives.
yep,
Yeah.
especially the people who are essential workers and they kind of have to be out, and then interacting with these people. And fuck, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I also love how you get to trace the current outbreak where we are wasn't from like slowly person to person to person to person. There was like massive leaps of infectability, and they were all mass gatherings.
Yep.
Like they can trace specific mass gatherings. Like, oh, the Mardi Gras celebration in this city led to this outbreak. Oh, there was this one random concert that went on after it should have been canceled, and you can trace the outbreak in this city to that one event. Like, that's how this actually started. You know, like it would have been much slower if, you know, these people would have just been interacting person to person.
Mm-hmm.
So now they are not interacting person to person. They want to bring back all those mass gatherings.
Conversely, though, Patrick Mahomes did single-handedly save the city of San
I
Francisco.
did see that shit.
Yeah.
That is
What was
very
that?
possible. Well, because there would have been a victory parade if San Francisco
Right.
would have won the Super Bowl, and it was in California probably at this point way earlier than we knew it was.
Yeah, like
Right.
San
So-
Fran got hit really hard as it was.
Yeah, it
if
would have
if that
been-
victory parade would have happened, it would have
Yeah.
been catastrophic.
It would have been New York Part 2, maybe even worse. Like, in an awkward way, yeah, Patrick Mahomes saved a massive, like, major U.S. city.
Yeah, whereas Kansas and Missouri haven't been hit super hard by it, so the parade in Kansas City probably didn't
Yeah,
have that big of an impact.
in comparison, for sure.
Right, right. But they're like, Patrick Mahomes saved the city because he fucking beat the 49ers.
Yep. I wonder how many San Francisco fans, though, would reverse it.
Oh yeah, they're like, I'd kill my grandpa.
Yeah, I would rather die. I would die for this Super Bowl. Oh, man.
All right.
They're like, fuck the economy. I just need that ring, man.
Yeah. I don't give a shit, man. I'll kill myself after we win. Doesn't matter to me.
Already doing that with concussions.
Well, I wasn't talking about the players. I mean,
Oh,
the players
we're
would
talking about the
probably
fans.
do that.
Oh,
No,
you
I'm
said
saying
need the
fans.
ring, and I thought you were talking about player, but okay. Okay.
Yeah, fans like to lump themselves in with the teams and pretend that
Yeah.
they get the
They're-
Super
they're
Bowl
part of
ring
it.
and everything.
Yeah,
like
we
when-
got
like-
that ring, guys, together.
We did it.
I know.
Meanwhile, like three to 8 different players on that team have played their last NFL snap already, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that will take us to the breakouts.
Breaking in so we can break out. Breaking in so we can break out. Breaking in so we can break out. Breaking out.
Is there...
See, we have one singular breakout.
Yeah, boy, I see a big old breakout.
You know what? Do you guys have anything to talk about, or can I go off about Final Fantasy VII Remake?
What do you want us to do when you go on? Should we ask questions, or should we just stand back and let the...
Yeah, because like I can go on my phone now.
I mean, you can...
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But
I
if
can
you
look
want-
for
but
funny
if you-
shit to
but
talk
if you
about.
want- if you want us to fuck around with it and ask some questions and pull some shit over Final Fantasy VII, we'll do it.
I would like you guys to engage, but if this
I can
isn't
just never
go-
tell. Sometimes I feel so unwelcome when these things happen because I think something's funny and I laugh and you go real defensive on it. Just like, no, this is the greatest piece of media ever made, Ryan.
Okay,
Some shit.
for what it's worth, I'm not like ever offended by you guys like not liking a piece of media that I like, but
Ryan, we're not trying hard enough then.
oh god,
We gotta
fuck
offend him
you.
harder.
Um,
Well, it's like that's how I derive my comedy a lot of times, which is probably not a positive, but like yeah, I mean, when I find it easy to mock something, like it's easy to go off, fam. And so it's either mocking it or I like browse Twitter for a while looking for something else funny to say.
I mean, like, okay, if you guys don't want to like engage with this, yeah, I can just say that I am now.
No, Lucas.
Oh, no,
we're
I'd be
giving you-
engaging.
we're giving you shit.
Oh.
Like, please go ahead.
This is. oddly meta, but okay. If you guys want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake for like a minute with me, I'm down for that. Are you guys?
Here we go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm about 20 hours in now. Really enjoying it. It's really interesting how like it's fleshing out the original game in some weird ways, like usually for the better, but sometimes not. Like I'm at a level now where in the original game it was a train graveyard because it was just like a scrap heap with a bunch of trains in it, but now it's like actually fucking haunted. And that's odd. I don't know why they made it so extra like that, but
Yeah, that's a pretty...
Had to add filler content.
yeah.
Did it add more content, or is it just... We wanted it to be ghosts now.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, yes. Like, this could absolutely be called filler, where it's like, oh yeah, this was like a 5-minute screen in the original game, but now it's going to take you like half an hour to get through this area, and I'm having enough fun with like the combat and the story and the characters and everything that I don't really mind, but it's also like, come on, this doesn't have to be a 40-hour game.
That's the thing to me that confuses me about this, because Final Fantasy VII is famously a very long game that it takes a lot of time to complete. There's a lot going on, all that kind of shit. This, from my understanding, this first part of like what is possibly going to be like 5 to 7, pieces, installments. This is like a full-sized game. And it is famously taking them forever to put it out because it's a big game and it's taking a lot of work, obviously.
Yeah.
But they don't have to make it like that. They don't have to do that. Why are they? Like,
they're just like self-flagellating, make it
Yeah.
longer. It's just like, wait, no one asked you to do this.
I mean, if I'm being cynical, it's because, yeah, they can break this up into 3 full-priced games and make that money and also jerk themselves off over how great the original was and just be like, oh, yeah, this is fucking one of the best video games of all time. We nailed it. Now we're making it...
You like that, Nerd Daddy, don't you?
Yeah, bigger, longer, and uncut. But I don't know, even that with that in the back of my head, I'm really enjoying this, and some of the ways it does flesh things out, I think are pretty good. Famously, in the original game and in this one, you're starting out as like helping out with an eco-terrorist organization, and you never really, in the original, got the feeling of how your actions were affecting the lives of the people living in the city. And in this game, it leans way hard into the fact that you blowing up 2 power plants essentially means that a lot of people lost their jobs or were harmed, and there are more children that are orphans now. And
Jesus.
yeah, just going full into that about how you as the player and the main characters all know you are right for doing this, but then the bystanders having... just their normal lives completely upended by your actions.
So it's basically Batman vs Superman to Man of Steel, right? Like, no, we're kind of rewriting it, but also like, yeah, we did that on purpose. All the destruction had some greater goal that we were gonna eventually like harken back to, and it was gonna come up.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I think that they would prefer to call themselves eco-freedom fighters, Lucas, but just, keep that in mind.
Yeah, I highly doubt in Final Fantasy VII they ever refer to themselves as eco-terrorists, right?
I mean, the bad guys call the
Yeah,
group
sure,
Avalanche
sure.
terrorists, but
The bad guys call them terrorists.
right?
Yeah.
It's just a funny statement. I mean, the bad guys call them terrorists, but the good guys know.
But they're the
what's
bad
what.
guys, guys.
Yeah, the bad
wait.
guys don't get to decide who the terrorists are.
It's like, but if we are terrorists, wouldn't we be the bad guys? No, but we're not terrorists. See, the bad guys are the ones that call us that. Okay, well...
Are we the baddies?
What are the bad guys, then? If we're terrorists, what are the bad guys?
I looked at our hats, and they have skulls on them. Are we the baddie?
Yeah, and then the only other major thing I have to say about it right now, besides saying that the soundtrack to this game just kicks so much ass and I love it, is that this game is willing to make fun of the main, like, the very famous in video games main characters in it, as like a stray little thing, and it's not even like super focused on, but I really appreciated it. There's a sequence where like Cloud has to like get ready to fight a guy, so he's gonna like he tries to pull out his like big fuck all sword, but he's in a doorway, so when he tries to take it off his back, it just gets like jammed up in the door. And I don't know why. That's a really dumb, small moment, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, some took a lot of time. How do we make fun of this idiot that we all love?
There's also like kind of a joke. Yeah, I'll call it a joke in there about like Tifa having like ridiculous giant video game boobs, where it's like they're walking on a catwalk or something several hundred feet off the ground, and Barrett says something like, okay, a little bit scared of heights, like this is terrifying shit, and Tifa says something like, oh, it'll be fine, just don't look down, and he replies with, oh yeah, that's really easy for you to say. And I appreciate this. This is a really good video game. Maybe gonna be game of the year for me at least, but then again, like half of all video games aren't coming out, so I don't even know if this means anything in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Brutal.
fuck. I mean, like, all the good video games were going to come out, like, after May.
Except for the good video games like Final Fantasy VII Remake that did come out before
Yeah,
May.
what are you talking about, Andrew?
Yeah, sure, okay, yeah,
There's a
sure.
great video game right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be depressing though, Lucas, if this one Game of the Year?
A little bit.
Like,
they're
I would be a
definitely,
So
little
you're saying it
depressed.
definitely does not deserve to be Game of the Year.
it's going to be
Like
game of the year for me, maybe.
Okay,
But-
but if it did win the award for Game of the Year, that would hopefully just depress you a little, right? Like,
Yes, there would definitely be like an asterisk situation.
well, like Last of Us Remastered. If that won Game of the Year, like even though it was a great game and I loved it, I'd be a little depressed. Like,
Right.
even though I understand this is a different situation, like the fact that it's not an original IP or even like a sequel to an
Yeah.
original IP would make me pretty depressed.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm trying to think if like any games in recent memory have like walked away with that title and been a sequel or a remake or something weird like that.
Sequels, I'm
sure.
assuming.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm not
But,
worried
like-
about sequels as long as they have an original story, I guess, is what I was more trying to say.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a reboot or a remaster or a
That-
re-release.
That's when it gets even more depressing. All right.
Yeah.
Sekiro, Child's Die Twice, God of War, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and that's technically a sequel, but you know, pretty original. Overwatch, Witcher 3, and Dragon Age Inquisition have been the recent Game of the Year awards. How far back does it go? That's
No.
British. There's Czech. The DICE Award. Which one's official again? I've forgotten. The Game Awards, formerly
The
Spike
actual
Game.
Yeah.
Game Awards.
I think
Okay.
the Game Awards has become the de facto.
Got it. So
single
Dragon
source
Age
of truth.
Inquisition, Grand Theft Auto 5, sequel technically, Walking Dead, the video. Oh my god, that thing was a piece of shit. How did that win Game of the Year? That depresses me.
You
Skyrim.
got to choose your own story, Ryan.
It was so bad though.
I-
Piece of shit. The story wasn't even interesting. Let's see. Skyrim, Red Dead Redemption, Uncharted 2, Grand Theft Auto 4. Wow, that's interesting. BioShock, Oblivion, Resident Evil 4, San Andreas, Madden 04.
Jesus
what?
Christ.
In
Wow.
2003, Madden 04 won Game of the Year.
2003.
What video
I wanna
games
see what
came out in
the other nominees were.
2003?
The year nominees. Yeah, what were the other
That is
Okay.
the most depressing thing. Ugh.
Game of the Year? Okay, so nominees were
Oh my-
Freedom Fighters, Grand Theft Auto Vice Cities, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, SOCOM 2, SSX 3, Star Wars Galaxies, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Tony Hawk Underground. So admittedly not a super strong.
That's
year
strong.
for
I feel like
video
Splinter
games.
Cell is looked upon pretty favorably in the
Yeah,
the vast expanse of classic video games.
That's fair. I mean, it definitely should not have been the umpteenth iteration of the football game.
Well, look at some of the other ones that won in 2003, like the other awards, like the Game Developer's Choice. It was Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, which I feel like is well known now. Call of Duty was in 2003. Yeah, Call of Duty won the British one as well.
Final Fantasy 11 is best online game.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Halo Combat Evolved.
Oh, Halo CE was 2003. That's pretty brutal. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is also, like, looking back, people decided it's one of the best Zeldas, but they hated it for being cartoony at the time.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Just remember, Lucas, it was not as good as Madden 04.
The Michael Vick one, where he was just a god amongst men. Yeah, so there's a lot of Wind Waker, some Call of Duty, a lot of Vice City, a couple of Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Like, definitely no one else chose Madden 04. What the fuck, man?
Hold on, I'm going to close my window. There's a bunch of people yelling outside.
No worries.
Do it.
What are you checking out, Ryan?
That's some ASMR.
Ooh.
I am checking out nothing. I'm playing Warzone a lot. And I
How you
almost
liking
caught
the
up on
latest
Better Call
update?
Saul. I don't think anything really updated that I know of, at least. They've
I'm
added back
back.
in trios after removing trios. Yeah, I don't know. I told you guys about my mini game that I've invented,
Yeah.
which is really fun. I've played it even more again this morning. Like, it is perfect podcast gaming. Like, I love podcast games. I only have a few of them. They're usually like sports games or like Minecraft or something like that. Just a more relaxed game where I definitely don't have to listen to any narrative and can, just dick around while I listen to a podcast. And yeah, I found it. Although I do realize that I end up focusing a little bit and then missing parts because I'm, without realizing it, like putting a ton of focus into it. Whereas in sports games, I can usually like completely shut off the part of my brain that's playing the video game.
Playing against other people, inevitably you get more dialed in at points than you do playing a CPU where if you lose, that's not any kind of consequence.
Yeah. Well, when me and Andrew both get the next Madden, it's going to be great. Plenty of podcast gaming.
Ooh.
Are they going to release the iterations of the sports games this year if the seasons are going to be all fucked up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they definitely would.
That is too
Okay.
much money to pass up.
I would
And there's-
imagine.
There's been enough transactions that the roster will be updated.
Yeah.
That's what really matters. I don't know how it's going to work with next gen though, because Madden usually drops in August.
Right?
So I mean,
Yeah.
they'll have a few months there, and I don't know if they're doing a remastered version or what the idea is.
I don't know if
I
we call
would imagine that they would just also release the game for the next gen as like a launch title, but I
Makes
could be
sense.
wrong. Like Madden comes out in August, and then in November it comes out again for next gen. I don't know.
It'd be fun.
If we can get our hands on PS5s.
Oh, I'm gonna pre-order as soon as they open those up, which they
Yeah.
still haven't, even though it was supposed
I
to
know.
be March.
I
It's
think
almost
I
the
think
end of
they're
April.
waiting, cause there was some quote that I saw of like people were asking about like, do you anticipate any like delays with everything going on? Because I hear that it's hard to get the components for manufacturing with everything going on. Obviously, they said, and basically the response was like, as long as Xbox doesn't delay theirs, we're not going to delay ours. So potentially, if Xbox delays their release, PlayStation could also move theirs back. Potentially. I don't see that happening, but it's absolutely possible. So maybe that's why they haven't put pre-orders up yet, because they aren't sure. They're like 90% sure it'll be in November, but 10% chance it could be in February.
Interesting. It sounds like Best Buy, GameStop, and Target have begun accepting email signups
Ooh.
for people to get notified as soon as they go live. So maybe that means that it's kind of around the corner. But yeah.
What are you checking out, Andrew?
I'm still just playing The Witcher and watching Westworld and reading a book.
Any good side quests in The Witcher lately?
All of them.
Any
All of them are
in
good.
particular stand out to you as particularly well written, fun gameplay twist, anything like that?
I played a series of side quests that was actually like 5 different side quests, where I went to the Skellige Isles, which is basically like Viking islands, and they like their king had died, so they had to choose their new king, but it's like voted on by all of the like local leaders and like of people that put themselves in for nomination. And this one dude who's your buddy, both of his kids put their names in, but you know, both of them are missing because one of them went to an island to try to kill like an ice giant with like a crew of like 100 dudes, and the other one just kind of went off to like try to save her friend who is like going crazy because he's being haunted by a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to like go to the island and try to find the son after like basically following the trail of dead bodies. And there was a bunch of weird crazy shit that was going on, and that took like 4 hours. And then you had to like then go back and find the daughter and figure out what she was trying to do, and you had to like trick this dude into thinking that you had like killed a baby, and it was crazy. And then afterwards you got the people all together for the nomination, but then somebody had set a trap and turned people into bears, and then all the bears were killing people. And you had to like stop the bears and find out who poisoned people and turned them into bears. And then that like led you to this one woman who was trying to like, instead of get rid of like the semi-democracy, just get like a straight up like heritage monarchy set in place, because then her son would be king. Yeah. And then that was that.
Fun.
So that altogether took like 10 hours.
What did you... okay, that sounds terrific, first of all, and like it sounds like it's living up to the... You know, The Witcher 3 has the best side quest in video games.
I know it's such like an overused thing, but it's kind of true.
What did you get for doing 10 hours worth of side quests? Like,
Well, you got like a couple of things like throughout the whole time. I mean, like for one thing, like you level up a lot by doing side quests.
okay.
It's hard to level up just by like killing things and getting into fights, but like doing quests levels you up. But like I got a like at the very end, I got like a really really nice monster killing sword from this dude, and then like also a bunch of money. But like throughout the whole time, like I found like some armor like in the ice giant's cave that was really good, and then I got something. I like got some sort of schematic to build like really nice armor from the other side quest, and like other like crazy shit. So it wasn't like you did all of it with nothing going on at the very end. He's like, and for my gratitude, here,
10 potions.
10 coins. No, like there was just stuff kind of along the way.
All right. Cool. I think that will take us into the group chat. Quarantine cast is going pretty well.
Is it?
I think so.
What are the stats?
Stats.
Where
Well,
we're going,
we
we
don't
don't need
need
stats.
For the past 2 weeks, we've been averaging like 60, 70 views a week, which is higher than the 50 we had been averaging, so that's cool.
I know your mom's one of them, Ryan.
Consistent content.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, your mom messaged me about like the milkshake vending machines that we were talking about that Dr. Oz ruined in my high school. And she like sent me a picture of like something adjacent that they have in Quick Trips, whereas like this, like they actually like pour the milkshake out of a machine instead of it just being in a bottle, like in a vending machine. So something similar. And then like she sent me a map with like all the locations that have that machine. I'm like, oh, this is really nice. Thank you.
That's my
She's
mom
like,
for
yeah,
you.
they're probably not open though.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah.
Also right. No, she's pretty on point.
Hey.
I'm surprised she didn't call the places ahead and say, "Oh, this one's open. Actually, like this one, you can go in and grab it." Like that's
Here, I bought you a milkshake
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, it's shipping. It's on the way now. Don't worry about the price. It's chill.
Andrew, are you going to visit any of those locations once you can again? Are you going to follow the literal side quest that Ryan's mom gave you?
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that's actually the thing.
maybe I'll get a silver sword at the end. At the very least, I'll get a milkshake.
Yeah.
I'd take a milkshake over a silver sword. What would I do with the silver sword in 2020?
Good point. Yeah,
Kill a-
I'd take a
nowadays-
milkshake.
Nowadays, useless. 100 years ago, though.
100 years ago? In 1920?
What am I gonna do with a milkshake in 1920, Ryan? Come on.
Actually, were milkshakes? Yeah, they were definitely invented, right?
Yeah, freezers were a thing back then.
Well, yeah, okay. Freezers were a thing back then, but Dippin' Dots weren't invented yet. Like, I mean, things get invented. When was a milkshake first? 1880s ish, but they used alcoholic whiskey until like 1900s, where
So
they
you're-
started finally using ice cream.
So
if you
you're
go to
telling
certain
me
restaurants, you can still do that.
So you're telling me that milkshakes have gotten progressively worse over time.
No, doesn't sound like there was ice cream in the original.
Oh.
Like it says.
Oh, do you mean it's just like milk and whiskey?
It says alcoholic whiskey drink that has been described as a sturdy, healthful eggnog type of drink with eggs, whiskey, etc., served as a tonic.
Oh,
So
that sounds gross as fuck.
yeah, that sounds absolutely disgusting. And then early 1900s is where they were asking for the new thing with ice cream, but they weren't really popular until the 1930s, where they began to come up as at malt shops.
Oh, okay.
So really, if you had a milkshake in 1920, you could be the talk
I
of the
could
town.
Start a business.
Yeah, you could be
Invent
the
the
original OG, and then this Wikipedia page would be changing, like the Back to the Future
Yeah,
kids fading away in the picture.
Can you imagine that being your Back to the Future like money making scam instead of going back to like invest in Apple or to
Invent
like
modern
make
milkshakes.
sports bets? You just go back to invent the milkshake and start a business. Like, I'm going back 5 years before the
Yeah.
first milkshake shop opened up.
And then probably getting undercut by some massive monopoly and
Yeah,
like driving you out of
absolutely.
business. And then the Great
Just a
Depression hits
regular-
9 years after it, and then you just like die. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a waste of your time travel abilities.
I'm still reeling a little bit as my brain processes the fact that tonics were just a thing that people drank on the regular at one point in human history. Like
Yeah, it was medicine.
not like a thing in fiction or old books or whatever, but like that was a part of daily life at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like a cup full of gin and some herbs and like dirt or something. I don't know. And, like just drink that and you won't get malaria.
Ugh. I'm a little depressed that I didn't get a milkshake yesterday. We went to In-N-Out through the drive-thru. And
Nice.
I got I calculated the correct amount of calories for a full day. So it was two double doubles and an animal style fry. And yeah.
And that was just all you ate yesterday?
Yeah, that's 2,000 calories pretty much on the dot. So, yeah.
I
Why not?
went for a 3-mile run yesterday, and that means I
I'm
got
just trying
to
to
eat.
make Ryan feel bad.
And that means I got to eat an entire sausage mushroom pizza
It sounds
for
delicious.
dinner.
Why
Not
why
like-
would you make me feel bad with that? I'm living my best life, man.
Same.
It just sounded like after someone's like, I went to, I got fast food, and someone's like, oh, really? Well, I went to the gym and had a carrot smoothie.
No,
It sounds
Andrew.
like he had a sausage mushroom pizza.
Yeah.
Andrew, we're both like eating like as much junk as we want. We're just betting. We're just fitting that in different ways. Ryan plans it out. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna like have an exceptionally big dinner, I'm gonna like run a bunch. He has more foresight than I do.
Yeah, junk food isn't really that much worse for you if you eat it like, and that's it. Like if you're eating 2,000 calories in one meal, but then that's your meal for the day, it's really not that much worse for you than like a normal meal.
we could
So
get into arguments of like nutritional value, but fucking vitamins exist.
exactly, yeah. I take
Yeah.
a multivitamin every day, and like,
Right?
yeah, it might be slightly high in sodium and sugar, but like I'm 23, like I'll be fine.
I'm 23. I can't die.
Okay, hold on, like
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
I'm eating 2,000 calories, like that's balanced right there, man.
Like, are we going to be able to?
I'm not gaining weight. If anything, I'm losing weight. Like, it's a dream.
Like, are we going to be able to pull this shit a decade from now? Probably not, but that's why we're getting it in when we can.
I mean, but probably, like, I would. If I eat 2,000 calories on the dot, I'm not gonna like get morbidly obese. Like, that's how it works. I've calculated my basal metabolic rate. Like, it's yeah, I don't know.
Good for
It's a
you.
thing. Calories in, calories out, baby.
Andrew, how you eating in quarantine?
Same as it ever was.
Yeah?
Maybe like a little bit more baked goods.
Oh
Change
God,
it.
have you baked bread, Andrew?
I have not baked bread.
Damn
it.
I haven't done any baking. I don't like.
I was
the
about to call
process of
you.
baking.
I was about to call you basic.
No. Jade's been finding a ton of like healthy baking recipes on Tick Toc, and then like
Oh, God.
immediately she's like, "Oh, that's good," and then just immediately making it. So like flourless cookies and like
Are those good?
non cookie dough. The flourless cookies were actually really good.
Oh.
It just tastes like a peanut butter cookie, like a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie. But she made something that's like non cookie dough, and it's like that was okay, but like definitely not great because it was like, what was it? It's like mostly chickpeas smashed up with like a bunch of other random shit in there, and then chocolate chips, and it like definitely looks exactly like cookie dough, and it tastes like 75% like cookie dough. But then the other 25% tastes like hummus
Oh no.
because it's chickpeas.
Um,
That one wasn't great. She's made like muffins and shit. So basically, there's always some sort of baked goods. Oh, she made really good chocolate chip scones. Those were
No?
just scones. They weren't like healthy scones. They were just scones.
What is it about men though that like they're baking bread? You know? Have you guys seen this?
What do you mean
Yeah.
about men? Is it
Like men in
men's-
quarantine, there are just baking loaves of bread.
so
I
much
know
so,
that people have
why?
been baking a lot of bread. Is it just men though?
I think it's kind of leaning towards men. Like I think
Oh.
women that are baking are making like good shit, like Jade, like you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
whereas men just are fucking baking basic
Like,
ass loaves
I
of
put
bread.
yeast in a bowl.
Yeah,
Like-
seriously. Like I'm not even they're not even using like sourdough starter or anything that like makes it interesting.
Yeah.
They're just like fucking baking bread, like
so much
basic ass
so-
flour, yeast, eggs, whatever, bread.
And now some grocery stores in really affected areas are just out of yeast.
It's so weird.
I mean, on some
Why?
level, like, I can see an argument that if they're making their own bread, that's like less trips to the store they have to make for it.
But they didn't have that shit lying around. They
went to the store to
it.
get those.
That's the thing is when I first heard that people were making bread, I'm like, oh, people are trying to like not go to the store as much, and I'm like, wait, nobody just has the shit to make bread anyway.
I mean, I used to know more about bread baking, but like, I feel like, you know, a bag of flour, a pack of yeast, and whatever else you need, or a couple packs of yeast maybe, like that'll last you longer than just picking up a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they just like their grocery trip like involved getting a bunch of bread making materials so that they could just keep making bread instead of having to go and buy bread. But I think
Yeah.
it just became a trend somehow.
Not a little
That's
bit.
what people are doing.
Sure. Also, I'm still on the milkshake Wikipedia page, and
Okay.
there's a section obviously titled "Use in Protest" because milkshaking is a thing,
Yeah.
especially in the UK. And apparently, I didn't hear about this when it happened, but I think last year in May, Nigel Farage was going to visit in Edinburgh. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I mean,
Edinburgh.
Look, is it though? Is it, or is that the same one? Is that a different one? I don't know.
I mean,
But anyway, they're visiting a McDonald's, and so then local Burger King tweeted, "We're selling milkshakes all weekend. Have fun!" Like, literally like condoning and even encouraging people to throw
Fuck.
milkshakes at this dude. And then the tweet got banned by the UK's Advertising Standards Authority. Like, oh my god. So crazy, man. People are weird. Oh, someone threw a Five Guys milkshake at him?
What a
Come on,
waste.
that's a waste. Five Guys milkshakes are amazing.
I have
Wait,
never
wait,
had a
wait,
Five
wait,
Guys
wait,
milkshake.
wait, wait. Does Five Guys milkshake fall under the category of wine or beer in this situation? Is it a waste
It's
or
beer.
is that what it's made for?
Okay.
It's beer. It's utility. It's
Mass
so good.
consumption.
It's utility.
It provides joy to the common folk. Now, is a gold foil fucking brownie served at a restaurant for $500? Should you throw that? Like, I don't give a shit. Do it. It's just as good as you eating gold foil. Like, but a $5 Five Guys milkshake that's delicious. Like, come on, man. I would have drank that milkshake. It's ridiculous.
Much like the title would suggest, this podcast has turned in on itself like an Ouroboros.
And just like an Ouroboros, it's time to eat our own tail and talk at the end. Wind down. I don't know.
Yeah, auto cannibalism.
Let's just sell voluntary viewing T-shirts that say V2 and then have like a Ouroboros and then it just like I eat ass.
How many different ways can we pronounce this word, by the way, in one podcast?
So far I've
Ouroboros.
detected like 4.
Yeah, I think at least
Air-
5 or 6.
Ouroboros.
Oh, that sounded
Ouroboros.
kind of vaguely Italian.
Ouroboros.
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 That was more Swedish.
Ouroboros.
Yeah.
Ouroboros. Ouroboros.
Oh, I don't even know. Was that German? You were angry, I think.
I'm going for a Scottish thing like Ouroboros.
Oh, okay.
Ouroboros.
It sounds like Aurora Borealis. That way.
In this time of year, at this time of night, in this
Localized directly inside your kitchen.
Yes.
Can I see it?
No.
Well, thanks for an incredible luncheon.
You steam a mean ham.
Damn it. What a great scene. Can we stop, though?
we haven't.
Oh,
We still have to do a
clappy,
clap
yeah,
sync.
clappy,
Thank you so
clap,
much
clap.
for tuning in to episode 93 of the Voluntary Viewing Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, etc. Follow us on Twitter at V2_podcast. Send us your questions, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. And support us on Patreon like Tiffany Cole, Sucky Badger, and Sensual Richard Nixon if you are able to. My name is Lucas DeRuyter, freelance writer, blah, 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 blah. Follow me on Twitter at Lucas
My favorite
DeRuyter.
plug ever. That was my favorite plug. I imagine you going on like Letterman, even though obviously he doesn't exist anymore. Just and like, yeah, my name's Lucas DeRuyter, freelance writer, blah 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 blah. Go fuck yourself. I don't care.
Give me those clicks.
Such a half-hearted plug, so you shouldn't even do it. Oh man, that was great.
Let's clap.
Clappy. So no pulse roll?
So no head.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought of. The minute I said it, I was like, oh, that was the cadence of that vine. So no post roll?
Is TikTok just the new Vine now?
No.
No.
Not really. I mean, in a lot of ways.
It's
Shares
the
DNA.
checking a lot of
closest thing
same
to Vine
boxes.
that we have right now. But
Kind of and kind of not. Like,
I mean, like, what else do we have that's closer?
there's like sections of Twitter and YouTube and Instagram that are definitely a lot more like a community focused on making short comedy sketches, whereas TikTok is kind of more focused on, you know, not long form, but definitely not like 6-second limitations. You don't see many TikToks that long. So yeah, it's similar.
I
Definitely
know
a lot
he's
of DNA.
moved on to what is probably more sustainable content, but I miss ProZD wilding with 15 to 30-second videos.
Yeah, he doesn't do his YouTube sketches nearly as much.
No,
I can't subscribe to him because like I don't want to watch the food reviews.
right?
But usually YouTube like recommends the video immediately because they know. Like YouTube knows, oh, it's a 30-second ProZD video. He wants to watch that one. Like it's a 15-minute one. He does not want to watch that one.
I say what you will about the algorithm, but they are good at X user, X time length
Yep.
video. Yep.
Or anything. Like they always recommend me all the Honest trailers. Like I can't subscribe to Screen Junkies because I don't give a fuck about the rest of their content. But I want to watch the Honest trailers, and they know that, so they always recommend that one as soon as it comes out. Yeah, it's really good.
Ryan, the way you're talking, you watch like every video that pops up in your subscribed feed. Well, I like ignore most of them.
Oh yeah, no, I do. I can't stand clutter in my subscriber feed.
Oof.
I'll unsubscribe to the channel and then like check in every once in a while if there's only a certain type of content that I like to watch on there. Yeah.
Fair.
Different viewing habits.